What's up, Toy World? I'm your host, Austin, and we just had a really scary Halloween. But let me go ahead and throw in the co-hosts on the show, and I'll just introduce Ashley. Get on here, Ashley, and Ray. Get on here. Boom. Ah, scary, scary, scary. How was your Halloween?
Woo!
How was your Halloween, folks?
Spooky routine. Uh,
Because
the spooky routine. We watched Halloween stuff. Try.
I was gonna say we actually watched like this year we didn't have anything crazy, no kind of Halloween parties or anything, so we just mainly handed out candy and then watched. I think we picked weird ones. I know we did Hocus Pocus or watched like the end of Hocus Pocus. I must have walked in at the end of it. We've watched They Live and The Warriors, and I'm trying to think of what else we watched for Halloween because it was. Yeah, Warriors. It was just like we were in this John Carpenter-ish vibe. So we watched They Live and Prince of Darkness, which was wicked. It's just like green Satan goo throughout the whole movie, and you're like, oh no, and it's crazy. But the music's great. But no, I mean, it was a pretty cool Halloween. Threw in some Beetlejuice cartoon episodes, made it great. You know what was actually I watched something for Halloween and I'm like, wow, this actually made it. It seemed like I'm trying to remember what it was, and it turned out to be a good Halloween choice. And now I'm totally blanking on what we watched, and I'm like, wow, this actually, it'll come back to me. But no, me and my wife watched something, and it wasn't Toy Soldiers or Small Soldiers. That was one thing I had proposed, but I don't know. What did y'all do? What did y'all watch for Halloween?
We have our tradition is always we at some point we do watch the first Hocus Pocus. My wife didn't get to watch it. Like, she didn't grow up watching this movie because how she was raised. So when she finally got to watch it, I got to show it to her basically, and she fell in love with that movie. So we watch it every Halloween.
Year? Or is it or you're like when you first got together?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I was going to say I noticed one tidbit watching it this year. I actually learned something brand new about the movie at the very end. Wow. My wife brought it up, and I'm like, wow, that's a good point. So, at the very end when the Sanderson sisters die or are conquered. Okay, so they trick them into staying out past the time, when the sun comes out, when dawn comes. But Winifred actually wasn't killed by the dawn. Winifred was destroyed because she touched hallowed ground. Yeah, and they never really focus on that, because I was telling her, I said, it's a trick of movies. A lot of times, I bet there was probably added dialogue or added sequence to explain that further, and they probably had to trim it down and said, look, you'll get the picture just by this sequence. We don't have to continue saying it. But yeah, it's like when you see her like fighting with the kid, she sees her sisters and she knows they're doomed, but she looks at the ground and sees her own feet and notices, oh, well, I'm dumb. So that's why she turned to concrete while the others just exploded. I had never really noticed that until this time watching it. I just didn't. It's just one of those things where you always assumed it was they just waited till dawn and then they all died. But no, it was she died specifically a horrendous, death because she touched cemetery ground. Yeah. So I'm like, wow, at least her sisters got to go out, in glory. I don't know. It was.
So do I lose my geek card if I've said I've never seen Hocus Pocus?
Really?
A little bit. I mean, you lose two. We take back 2 punch holes. Yeah. So you've never seen Hocus Pocus?
No, it's a fun movie.
Dude, it's one of those weird, I mean, really, I was even dissecting it this year. It's just one of those weird 90s Halloween movies that was just such a lightning in a bottle. It's one of those where it was ahead of its time because it was just the right amount of camp, scariness. The special effects at that time had just made it to where it holds up. When you watch the movie, it just holds up.
It still holds up
because it's one of the first movies that has CG effects in it like that, throughout. And Binks was CG with his face and stuff like that. And
I think he was also probably animatronic, wasn't it?
Some animatronic and then some real cat stuff. But yeah, it was like it holds up. And then also some of the B roll and some of the B storyline stuff in it and everything. Just it made for such instead of it you going back and saying, wow, this is such a kid's movie. It really is just such a it's just a weird Halloween movie. It really makes sense now watching it why it holds up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it is. It's one of those lightning in a bottle kind of films.
I think one of the things that holds us so well, I think, is the big three that they have in it. You know, the Sanderson sisters, like who they cast as them. They work so well individually as characters, and then also they work so well off each other. You know, Bette Midler, Catherine Najimy, and Sarah Jessica Parker. There's a gravity to those three together that makes the movie really, really fun to watch.
And the production, I would say, and I guess this is, I've probably already reiterated this, but I think the production design also speaks it holds that movie very well, because just when you watch it, you can tell there's a lot of sets, like a lot of soundstage stuff, but it looks wonderful. It reminds me of the ending of the Force Awakens. Remember that was all soundstage for the Forest battle.
Yeah,
it was kind of that feel where they it's a lot of depth and a lot of the lighting and everything. I don't know. They just, the look of the movie was so spot on for Halloween season. And but
makes you want to move to Salem.
Yeah, me and my wife have been there.
I'd love to move there. Or at least,
it's great. It's real fun. I mean, it's got, the town seems pretty cool. The people, I mean, they're all, the vibe's pretty neat. I'm telling you, when like just walking around, it's a lot like the day vibe of Hocus Pocus. It's really weird.
Really?
But what about you, Ashley? What was y'all's?
I don't know that we did anything. I know I cut the garage lights out. Shut the garage. And just because we live in a subdivision, but it's kind of a spread out subdivision. You know, it's not like kids can get out and walk the neighborhood. They could get in a golf cart and go through the neighborhood. But and two, we're so far off the road, I was just like, gosh, I don't want to be sitting down watching TV and somebody just randomly comes and knocks on the door.
Right.
And we don't have candy. So we did that.
I was gonna say
my kids were at work. So I think we just sat on the normal stuff, sat on the couch. I think we may have even watched maybe the World Series or something. I don't know. I can't remember. It was very uneventful.
No, I hear you, man. So, look, sometimes some people are just like, it's Halloween. It's just another day. Yeah. And if you come to knock on my door, I'm going to throw something at you. Yeah. What's crazy, though, is we handed out candy this year, and, kids, they usually wrap up by 8. And they even say in the neighborhood, like, try to keep it between 5 and 8. Yeah. And yeah, man, we always have like a decent showing. It's not like a ton of kids, but they come through, and it was so funny. We'd shut down around 8 o'clock. Nobody was coming anymore. But I think I'd accidentally left the front light on, but it was 9:30 and we're just watching TV, and I hear like children, it sounded like giggling, and like I heard a yell, and I go to the front door, and there's like 2 kids running in my front yard. I mean, and there's nobody else around. I don't even see parents, but it's just like these two kids, and I just poke my head out the door, and I'm like, you guys want candy? Hang on I said, you hang on just a second, and I run back inside and grab the candy dish, and they grab some candy, and then poof, gone. And I'm like, and my wife was like, it's 9:30 at night. They're out there trick or treating. I'm like, look. I mean, I guess we had our light on. So I gave them like a good 2 minutes, and then I cut that light. My wife was like, I hope you didn't cut it off on them. I'm like, listen, they got their candy. It's time to go home. It's time to go to bed.
Get out of my yard.
It was weird. In a way, it kind of made me excited, because I'm like, yay, there's some old school parents somewhere out there that are just like, listen, you could trick or treat until at least 10 o'clock. If there's lights on, you can knock on the doors. So, I mean, I couldn't get too mad about it, but no, I love the Halloween season. I love giving out candy and seeing all the kids. I saw some really good costumes this year. Really good Peter Pan set. Like there was a Peter Pan mother, and the daughter was Wendy, and the dad was Smee, like the Disney versions. And yeah, it was so great. Like the costumes were really well done. So yeah, it was really cool. But no, other than that, I mean, one thing I have been doing, me and my wife have been going through the Marvel series. And I know we've been talking about that, but specifically with me, I've wanted to go back ever since The Flash came out, and I wanted to kind of rewatch the Zack Snyder, DC universe.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
So I started watching Man of Steel again and watching, Batman versus Superman, and then completing it with the actual Snyder version of the Justice League.
Yep.
And wow, I have to say, like, rewatching it, so many emotions go through me. I don't know if y'all experienced this or how y'all feel about the series overall that during that time period, but I kind of feel cheated a little bit. Like there's so much more to get from that. And I don't know. It's great, but I like the run. There's a lot of people that seem to really crap on that time period now, or even at the time they just didn't. Some people did not like Man of Steel. They did not like Batman versus Superman. But I just enjoyed the ride, man. Because we had already had different. I've gone through all the Batman, the Burton-verse, the Schumacher, the Nolan.
Mm-hmm.
We've been through it all, and then all the Marvel stuff. I was just, it was something new. And Zack Snyder has an eye. He has a particular comic eye for the visual effects and production design that I knew we were going to get something special. And I was floored. Ray, I think you could agree with me there. Man of Steel was pleasantly surprising. It was like blew me out the water. I mean, then you get the follow-up. To me was kind of a right turn, but at the same time made sense to set up the universe. But overall, I just really enjoyed Zack Snyder's DC universe and wanted more out of it. I wanted, especially, I don't know, bias. I'm a little biased at it, and Ray, it's your fault, but I wanted a Green Lantern series in that universe, because I could totally see him doing a really good Green Lantern series or movie. But I don't know. I mean, and then watching that Justice League movie makes me so angry for the Justice League theatrical version that came out before and being so terrible. I don't know. Like all
the brouhaha behind the scenes, yeah,
and all that too. Yeah. It's like it's so unfortunate when at that time, like if you had just stuck to the course, you would have had, in my opinion, a winner. Now Justice League, that would have been tough. I don't know how you would have put that out in theaters unless you really. I mean, he could have whittled it down into probably a 2.5, 3 hour long movie. But God, I would have gone to the theaters for that 4 hour version. I mean, I saw Return of the King in theaters 3 or 4 times. You know what I'm saying? So I hear the new Killers of the Flower Moon or whatever, the new Scorsese movie's 4 hours long, isn't it? Like 3.5, 4 hours long with 2 or 3 intermissions. So like
at this point, I think just Scorsese he just like, I'm at an age where I don't have to give a crap what a studio executive or
he can do whatever he wants. He just does. He's just like,
I've got too much clout to have to listen to people talk about run times, and
he just takes film stock and just catches it on fire in front of you. He's like, I got time, buttons. Baby. Right.
So I think you had some the word you chose to describe it or describe your
take
on it. Like you felt cheated.
Yeah.
I felt cheated too, but I probably felt cheated in a different way.
He felt cheated because it wasn't what he wanted.
Yes, and all this is expectations, right? Going in, okay. And I've gone back and forth on all these movies before. I go from really loving Man of Steel, which I think is probably out of all of them next to Wonder Woman, which I know is not. We're going to consider Wonder Woman part of the Snyderverse because we're just going to consider.
I definitely considered it. Yeah. I was just mainly focusing on the Snyder directed movies.
The Snyder directed movies.
Yeah, but I totally consider Wonder Woman and the Flash and Aquaman and all those a part of that, telling that story for sure.
So the Man of Steel is probably my favorite out of all those, with Justice League, the Zack Snyder version of Justice League coming in second, and then Batman versus Superman. There's a lot. Like when I go to the movies, generally when I see a Marvel movie, I come out, I had a good time. I'm happy. That was a good movie. And, we're talking about it as we leave. It's been a long time since I've been to a DC movie. And I was like, yay, I like that. We had a good time. When I first saw Man of Steel, I came out and I was like, really? That's what we got? And then I've gone back and, like I said, I've gone back and forth to where I've probably seen Man of Steel, oh my gosh, 100 times, literally 100 times. And I go back and forth on it all the time. Same thing with Batman versus Superman. I hated the theatrical cut because it cut out lots of stuff. I mean, there's lots of plot points that you're like, what? I don't get why. How did they get from here to here? When if you watch the director's ultimate cut,
yeah,
you know,
which is what I watch. Yeah,
they add the reasons why we got from here to here.
Mm-hmm.
So you know, it's a much better movie. But I don't like some of the choices. Like Ben Affleck's a good Batman.
I love his Batman.
His Batman is great. He's just not the Batman I wanted for a DC universe, because I don't want my Batman being 40 years older than Superman, right? They should be the same age, roughly the same age. But and then some of the stories that I've heard, I've even read the book, the Zack Snyder book about what he had planned for Batman's arc and Superman's arc. It's head scratching. It's like,
yeah, I get that.
Why would Bruce Wayne and Lois Lane have a baby?
I think he's playing on that that flirtation that kind of was it around in the comics before the DC AU where there was
about in the animated univerce?
Yeah.
I mean, there was probably
there's flirtation. There was flirtation with Lois and Batman and Bruce. But
are we talking about plans are we talking about plans that were supposed to go after Justice League? Basically, the gap in time between that and then that future jump.
Yeah,
I got you. So see, I'm not familiar with a lot of those plans. So you'll probably have to take some moments to explain some of the proposed plans. Now, I don't know any of that.
Okay, well, here's the rundown. If you want to, so we're gonna turn on the geek lore hat.
Yep.
People who have too much time on their hands and read about crap they don't need to worry about.
Which is me.
Me too. So the plan apparently it was going to be a 5-movie arc. I think it was a movie, an arc that starts. What would you say? Is it the 5 starts with Man of Steel? So
Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman,
Justice League, and then Justice League
2 and
3.
Yeah.
So the plan was what you're seeing in the little flashes, like when he would have these dreams of the future.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He's actually seeing into an alternate timeline, I think. Isn't that correct?
That's what I was thinking was like it was either an alternate future
or he's seeing a fluctuation through time.
Yeah,
or something like
that.
Something along the line, because it has to do with the Flash and how he plays into the plot. Because he has the moment where Barry comes back and he came too soon.
And says, I was here. I came too soon. Lois is the key.
Or she's the key. So
I like that where he's like, I came too soon.
So what was supposed to happen in the aftermath of Justice League, Zack Snyder's cut was going to be Darkseid comes to Earth. You might have more of the details than me. Like off the top of your head, Ashley. So
I can't.
It's
hard to remember all of it because it's been a while since I've read that book.
Okay, so from what I remember, I think how does the kid come about? Actually, but the kid between Lois and Bruce.
So Superman is dead.
Oh, he was conceived during.
Yes, so she's pregnant. Okay. You know, they hint at her being pregnant in Justice League.
But we just assumed that it's
Clark's,
Clark's, because Bruce really didn't interact.
Wait. So that was going to be the big reveal, was that she was having
his
Bruce's
baby, not.
But how?
During that time, apparently, that he was dead. Like, what was it, 6 months or something like that?
Yeah, something around that time. Yeah, around that time period.
Yeah. So, Darkseid comes back.
I would kind of be that would be a struggle for me on that one.
Oh yeah, that made a lot of people mad when they found out about it. But and the DC definitely didn't like the idea. They were probably going to put a kid, even if they continued. I think they would have forced him to change that.
Yeah,
I feel they wouldn't have let him keep it. But Darkseid comes and he kills Lois, I believe. Which is the Flash you see at the end of Justice League, in that little flash of the future.
No, no, I don't think Lois dies. Wait, no,
she does. She does die because he holds her back because that's what.
Yeah, in the
that
second
triggers
movie.
him. Yeah.
And then
In the second
changes.
one, yeah. And then that makes Superman vulnerable to the Omega equation. Oh God, I'm
oh my gosh,
the anti-life equation.
Anti-life equation, yes.
My DC lore is going out the.
I'm having a brain fart.
Yeah. So and then that's how you get the bad Superman. So here's where the things get winky wonky. So we go into post-apocalyptic future stuff, where Batman's like, he's like leading his own little resistance. We've seen two different types of resistances, and both times they look like they ended badly. We saw the first one in Batman v Superman. Then you see the other one.
I was going to say the first one looked like it looked like they used some of Steppenwolf's minions, right? Was that like when
Parademons?
Steppenwolf's, and with
so those
Batman had all the Superman troops, right? Is that what you're talking about when Batman was fighting all the Superman troops? And
the Nightmare World.
Yeah, the Nightmare.
Is what they called it.
Gotcha. Okay.
With a K.
Yeah.
Nightmare.
But see, I don't know. Like, some of that stuff, when those jumps would happen, I don't know. Some of that looked cool to me because it was number one, the look of it, and also I'm like, this is so comic booky. Like, I don't know what in the F is going on. Yeah. and there's so much they're gonna have to explain to me, and in a way, I'm kind of excited by it.
I did really like the I really like the filming of that sequence, the big like ambush betrayal sequence.
Mm-hmm.
That was just fun choreography to watch. Yeah. But anyways, like that future. So basically what keeps happening is Batman finds out that the secret to stopping Superman has to do with going back in time with the mother box or something like that.
Yeah, he does something.
So I think the idea
the mother box comes back into play.
Yeah. So the idea, I think, is that somehow loops can start happening. And that's why you're seeing like maybe two different versions of this post-apocalyptic future, why Barry came back and said, I'm too soon. A continuous loop keeps happening because of something that Jared Leto's Joker in his scene, he mentions in his little speech he has with Bruce, where he keeps talking about, over and over, you keep trying to save the world when you basically saying like, you keep doing this over and over because you don't realize that you're the one that needs to die, because you won't have the balls to just, get killed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the moment is he's supposed to die for Lois, to save Lois. And then that helps stop Darkseid. And I think in the final version of the movie, and like, I guess part 3 is like them going through all this stuff to get to that mother box. And he goes back and he sacrifices himself to save Lois. And then they stop Darkseid. And then that's, I guess, the new jumping off point for where to go from there, which has its own list of problems, because then you're going to have to move, you're kind of jumping ahead on losing your Iron Man, your Tony Stark.
Okay. And then you have a baby, a new baby, a Bat baby.
Yeah. I would go with the assumption. I would go with the assumption that if that had actually gotten made, that wouldn't have happened. So it ended up being it's going to be Super Baby.
And they name him Bruce. Clark takes him in as his own, and they name the baby Bruce.
Yeah,
Brucey.
It's just
the time loop stuff sounded interesting. I do like that through line of that storyline idea of him like not being able to have the courage to do the bit, the sacrifice play, and then he finally goes through with it, stops being selfish, I guess.
See, I would probably beg him to kind of go a different route past Justice League because I loved up to Justice League and the battle, to get Superman back and fighting, Steppenwolf. And that's another thing, man. Steppenwolf is such a great villain. His armor and stuff is so friggin' scary to me.
He was done so much better. Like it's just disappointing that they changed him up.
What do you mean?
Much as they did.
Meaning like when they changed him for the first, it's a shame.
How do you go from he's
well, but again, I just going from the Man of Steel, there was so much wrong with Man of Steel. I mean, issues like it wasn't. I know it's a different version, different take on Superman. And I'm old school. To me, Superman is fun-loving Mr. Do right kind of guy. And Henry Cavill, while he looks the part, he looks perfect. He looked like, God, they couldn't have picked anybody better to play Superman. The direction of his character was not what I wanted to see. And then we go to Batman versus Superman and the age difference in Batman and why did they choose to do that? And just introducing Batman, I mean, killing off Superman so early in this DC universe. By doing this, you're already telling me we don't have big plans to continue this for any length of time. You know, maybe we'll get 10 good years out of it and we'll reboot. Because,
well, see, that's what I always looked at it as a very limited time. Like, I didn't think it was going to be I don't know. I guess I've gotten so stuck into this loop where I know all these things reboot themselves after so long. So there's these different iterations of Spider-Man, these different iterations of Batman and Superman and all that. So I just always looked at this one as Snyder's chance at, you know, seeing what he would do with it. So I always looked at it like I thought he was going to bring it to a conclusion. You know, that was why Batman kind of had maybe a 15, 20-year head start on Superman, because Superman was supposed to be a little bit younger and more pure and naive. And that's one thing I loved about Henry Cavill, is that he had this pureness about his character and about the way he acted. He was just so it was, I mean, really in his face and his look, he the way he would look at you, or not you, but like look at like characters and stuff. He just had this babyish look, like like an infant. And it just, I like that version of him, because plus he was also just, he's a big bulk of a man.
Yeah.
But and then I liked how they really made him, like his strength was crazy, especially during the fight with him and Batman, when they would show the differences in his power, when Batman would like hit him with a kryptonite bullet or something, a grenade, and then he would be beating on him.
Yeah, I was going to say that there's that fun shot of like, him getting progressively, like he was getting his strength back, so that the punches weren't even moving him anymore.
That's what I'm saying. That was to the point where the real Superman.
That was great blocking. Like, I would say, like, that was fantastic. Like, fight choreography, coming up with that idea, that was really fun.
Yeah. I love, that was what I was saying. Like, it's just whenever you get to see the difference. Like, all right, here's weak Superman. All right, now here's the real Superman. Just ding, he don't even move, and I'm just like, oh god. But anyway, and I really enjoyed Affleck's portrayal of Batman, because in a way he had nods to Keaton's Batman, but then also doing sort of his own, like I felt like a lot of his Daredevil was coming out in his Batman, like because he really didn't get to finish that character. So he's sort of like, I was Daredevil, so I'm going to be the Batman Daredevil. But so there's a little bit of that. But I don't know. It was like, to me, it was good for the time, and I'm like, I know this will end, and then we'll get another iteration. And I'm with you. I'm like I really like the happy-go-lucky, the pure, like the old school Superman, like the '78 Superman. Yeah, I love that stuff.
Go ahead.
Oh no. What were you gonna say, Ashley?
I was gonna say, well, Affleck's take on it was based off Frank Miller. Right. I mean, the suit design, everything, that's the Dark Knight Returns. That's all. And you could tell that Zack Snyder played, he leaned heavy into the Dark Knight Returns, even with the Batmobile design at the end of Justice League, that big tank thing.
Yeah, the giant tank.
Yeah. I mean, he really loves that. And again, you're going too far in the future, starting off building your Batman franchise. Like you're starting at the end instead of the beginning.
Yeah.
And that's what I hated. And one more thing before you go, Ray. And this is probably just me. Amy Adams is not Lois Lane.
She was to me, she was the weakest link of the series. I hate to say that, and I like Amy.
I do too.
She didn't feel like a good. She didn't feel like a good Lois Lane.
I think she just didn't get. I think they just didn't give her enough to do writing wise as a character.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. I mean, she probably, if you had handed her something like better script, better writing for her character, she would have handed you a better character. But it just, to me, it seemed like she was sort of floundering in the whole universe, just doing her thing. Like, we want you to be Lois Lane, but we want you to be Amy Adams. We want you to just be Amy, but Lois.
Yeah, I kind of just wish they would have given her a little bit more fleshing out character wise, because they gave her stuff plot wise. Like she's I loved her stuff of how she figured out, how she found Clark, after he saved her.
Yeah.
And and I've said this before, when we've done these discussions, I really, really loved that they completely did away with any secret identity hijinks with Lois, where she knew from the get-go.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't need a whole movie of like little, Clark, how did you get here so fast?
Yeah.
Where were you at? I don't need any.
I'll be right back.
And like I said, I'm hoping James Gunn doesn't do this.
Oh, he's going to do
does Superman. You think he's going to go that way?
Yeah. I mean, that to me, that's part of the Superman mythos to begin with, anyway.
It's something I'm sick of. Like, I could do without it in the mythos. There's more to Superman than how many different ways can I fool gaslight Lois?
Yeah.
Well, Lois, you crazy woman. You just need to go to a mental institution thinking I'm Superman. No one's going to believe you, you silly woman.
Yeah.
But I'll say this. In this day and age, when we've seen Marvel is in a weird place itself right now with the MCU, like, I want to say there's almost something to be appreciated that Snyder had a limited plan idea, where he had an idea for a beginning and an end point. And because you look at the MCU and kind of how they're struggling right now with Phase 4, you can see what happens when the plan is too successful. Because once we got to Endgame, when you look from Iron Man to Endgame, there is a big, giant narrative that ends at Endgame. You can kind of just cap it there if you wanted.
I just wish
everything was too big. Everything was too big, and they can't stop. So we got to keep growing out. Now we're doing so much stuff that a lot of people are just starting to tune it out because they're tired of so much noise. And there's also like I've noticed an uptick of like really hateful people that can't handle like a story for just like either having a woman or a black woman or a Palestinian woman being the star, or just a woman being the star and dealing with the crap of being a woman in a man's world. She-Hulk, because God forbid a woman complains about how us guys are crap, because a lot of us are. But besides that, I'm burying the lead. There's something to be appreciated of having a planned out beginning to end. There is something to be said about that, I would say. I did like that, but there's also things like, it's the DC. It's the DC universe. You want to have a good arc, I guess, a beginning to end, and I don't know. I've made my peace with it. It's kind of post-mortem at this point. This feels like a post-mortem discussion for me.
Yeah.
I don't know if you're going to get what you want, though, with Batman and Superman. I don't think they're going to be nearly the same age. I think they're still going to be...
I hope not.
I feel like there's going to be around a 10-year difference, just because of the fact that they're doing the Brave and the Bold with Damian. That means Bruce has to be old enough to be a father.
Yeah, you're right.
Unless you're getting into problematic territory of like Bruce having a kid as a teenager, conceived with Talia, which I mean, Talia is not a good person anyway, so you could get away with that. But then again, you don't want your audience to hate Talia al Ghul completely either, because she's a predator.
Yeah.
A young Bruce Wayne.
Well, I mean, she could have been young too.
She could have been, yeah.
They could have met on his beginning my Batman, journey, and I'm learning karate from, whoever.
Oh yeah.
And they fall in love because they're in the same dojo or whatever you want to. I don't know.
Well, when in the past, I mean, like he did train under, like in some of them, I think it's because he was training with Roz. Yeah, and that's how he learned some of his skills as a fighter. Yeah, and then he did the naughty thing of like hooking up with the sensei's daughter.
Yep. So who knows? I don't know. going back to what you're saying about Marvel having issues, and I don't want to derail the subject, but I will mention I'm reading this book called MCU: The Reign of Marvel.
Oh yeah, that's that ridiculous title.
Yeah, it is ridiculous title.
That's too much of a mouthful.
Dude, there's a lot of cool information in that book. I mean, these people did some digging. There's a lot of cool information, and it's like, wow.
Is this?
It's one of those documentary style books, right?
Yeah.
Like Talking Head. It's got a lot of I enjoy those kind of books because I mean, you really and they'll cite a lot of stuff too. Because I mean, sometimes you can pick bias out, but for the most part, it's usually just a lot of gathered information just laid out for you to kind of just form your own opinion.
Yeah. That's kind of the way it is.
You ought to read, Ashley, if you like that, you ought to read this because I've actually got it, but the book, it's just all about behind the scenes of the Spider-Man musical.
Oh, really?
Remember
turn out the lights.
Turn off the dark. Yeah, turn off the dark.
I still remember that.
It's a great book because you're just like, wow, like these people
about the incident.
Oh, it talks about everything. I mean,
I'm saying the big incident was, Mary Jane, and then
that went all. There was lots of stuff, and then just talks about. I mean, that was like trying to keep a corpse alive for a long time. They were just trying to keep that going, but no, I mean, I love stuff like that, and I would love to read. What's the name of the book again?
It's called MCU: The Reign of Marvel Studios.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
There was a new book that came out recently, though, wasn't there? Like a whole.
This is it, I think.
This
came out. Yeah, this came out probably maybe a month ago.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe.
Now, I guess we'll jump off the DC. I guess the Snyderverse talk. I'll just say that all in all, I enjoyed it. I totally see what you're saying, Ashley. Like I get a lot of the weaknesses to it, and especially that if they were going to go after Justice League with that storyline, probably wouldn't have been quite as big a fan. But I tell you, man, especially all the sequences in Justice League showing the Lantern Corps and stuff like that. I would have loved to have seen something from that universe with the Green Lanterns.
And I'll say I just wish. Oh God, I'm losing my train of thought here with what I was gonna say. With the DC. Oh God, what? Here, come back to me. Let me see.
No, you're fine.
I was going to say there's good casting. I mean, for the most part, the casting, Zack Snyder did a great job, with the exception to me of Amy Adams. Like I said, Ezra Miller. I
loved Ezra Miller. I loved him as the Flash.
And Jason Momoa, he had a different take on Aquaman that was cool for that, but it's still not the Aquaman I wanted to see. I wanted to see Aquaman that I've seen in comics, and I know I'm the comics nerd, wanting it to be comic accurate, and they're trying to appeal to the mass audience. But I
swear, if I see Lobo come up,
he's Lobo already.
Speaking of,
I'm gonna smash my face against what I was gonna say was beginning to end. I think, especially after Man of Steel came out, all of DC has felt like there was so much done in reaction. Every project felt like, with a few exceptions, where the director got to actually do what they wanted to do. There's so much behind the scenes studio, that reactionary drama that continue to happen. If you think about like throughout, like look what the original state of Suicide Squad was going to be according to script stuff and what
according to the director himself.
God, I'm forgetting his name now too.
He's
David Ayer.
Ayer. Yeah.
Well, it's also whether or not you think what you've seen of the new stuff is bad or good, that wasn't the movie that he had intended to be made. So much stuff keeps, like, I've noticed, like, continuously up until this newest one, like even the Flash like looks like too many people came in after the filming was done and said, do something here, I want you to put some stuff here, I want you to put some stuff here there. And the movies keep coming out to be lesser than they intended to be for one reason or another, and they don't end up looking like what the director wanted them to be, for good or bad.
Yeah,
and it's sad. I hope there's a change coming. I hope that Gunn isn't like that with people. With the other people going forward with this, like where they're just overreactionary, adding and taking away weird little things. Like I'm I'm so like still bothered by the little gotcha ending joke that Gunn put into the Flash, because I think that was him
I didn't
with Clooney.
No, well, I was going to say it was cute, but it was like, to me,
it wasn't
like,
needed other than just a little ha.
Right. I'm saying
moment.
under any other circumstances, if we weren't under the present circumstances, it would have been a cute joke.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm just like, that's it? Like, that's all we get? Yeah. So I'm like,
for a send off of that, yeah, it's kind of, it was pretty sad. Yeah. Other than that, yeah, I'm looking forward and hoping hope it goes better from here. Marvel, I hope you can figure something out and get some of your stuff better.
I think, I think Marvel's will be good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm hoping it's going to be good. But I think next year Deadpool 3 comes out and it's going to right the ship for the MCU.
Either that, or I feel like it's just gonna basically dance on the grave. That's what I felt like, was it was just going to kind of dance around on a dead, like a dead corpse, and then
because
I thought it was going to dance around on Fox's, like the Fox.
It does
X-Men
all that,
universe.
but it's steering the ship like Loki is doing, and the continuation of that with Deadpool 3 is going to steer the ship towards Avengers Secret War, which is they're preparing to end this multiverse phase.
Especially since they figure, like, I think, I don't know yet if they're getting the memo that, like, multiverses are not as popular as I thought that they were going to end up being a popular, I thought it was going to end up being a popular concept. People got tired of it really, really quick, I've noticed.
Yep. But there's going to be some stuff coming up that people are going to be like, whoa, that's going to be awesome.
And well, I'd like to believe. I want to be optimistic about that. You can never predict how general audiences are gonna be about anything. I've noticed, like, I can't predict that stuff anymore.
Yeah, I can't. But if some of the rumors are true, which I kind of the normal people who are usually right are saying some of this stuff is true, there's going to be like just this awesome epic. Like, you have to go to the theaters to see this thing.
I mean, I've heard the current new rumor. I don't know if you've heard about this, Austin. There's a Variety piece, which is interesting because Variety was the one that reported this.
Hey, but before you get started, there's a lot of people coming out saying that a lot of that stuff in that Variety piece it's mostly a hit piece. And a lot of it's true. Even some of the people who were like participated in writing some of the screenplays for some of the treatments were like, I've never seen that in any of the treatments.
So you don't, so it's
baloney, like some of that Blade crap.
It sounded a little too much on the nose. It sounded like someone who's mad about the current state of the Marvel universe. Yeah. But it sounds like someone who's mad about it for those, I can't handle any type of change at all. And it sounds like that kind of person just getting angry and saying, like, well, this has got to be what's happening. And because the pieces apparently that secretly behind the scenes Marvel is in such dire straits that they're trying to secretly get back Downey Jr. and Johansson.
Well, I'm not saying that's not going to happen.
You think that's going to happen? I don't think it's going to happen, just for two reasons. Just Downey's been so weirdly dismissive.
One of them has already signed. One of them has already signed on.
Really? I would believe Downey before I would Johansson, because she left on really bad blood. She has bad blood with Marvel Studios and how they.
I will say though that
Avengers
Secret War is going to be huge.
Well, I'll also add on to this. The other thing is that person has to have probably been signed on for a while now because of the strikes going on.
Oh yeah.
Because they definitely couldn't have just happened.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's the kind of news where I'm thinking, like, I'm not believing a word of that until I see it.
Yeah.
It just sounds way too.
I think there's been a lot of, they run up against some just bad luck, COVID, strikes, lots of stuff that keeps the ball from rolling correctly.
I also feel like they were stretching themselves thin with ideas and like giving, like, I don't know, like sometimes, like there were kind of like some of the complaints people would have for Star Wars is like they were taking an idea that will be just fine for a movie length and then they would say like, do this with a TV budget instead. You know, we're going to give you a good budget, a good TV budget, but you're going to have to do it with the TV budget.
Yeah.
So,
but their TV budgets are ginormous.
Yeah, that's probably why the Disney Plus price keeps rising.
Yeah, I mean, She-Hulk was like in the 200 million range for 6 episodes. Was it 6 or 8 episodes, something like that?
Yeah, it was 8 episodes, 8 or 9.
But that's crazy. That's movie, you know.
Yeah.
But
which makes you wonder, like, why? I mean, well, I guess it's more to we need to do something to justify Disney Plus existence. Like, it has to justify its existence, and you can't just do that with just movies, because then again, people are going to say, like, well, then you're just doing low class stuff because you're not putting stuff out in theaters. Theaters is the mark of quality.
The book that book I'm reading kind of goes into why they expanded so much on Disney Plus, and it was basically COVID that caused a lot of that, because they had to build up that in-home entertainment space because people weren't going to the theater. You know, I mean, there was several reasons.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Austin. I know you've been like looking like I want to talk about something.
Oh no, I was just going to say, like, we're talking about Ray gave us a good line earlier, but we were talking about DC, and one of the things I picked up recently on an Amazon sale was for $20, I got the Superman the Animated Series Blu-ray, which was amazing. I mean, they sent it to me. It's still $20, and it had the slip cover with the 25th anniversary sticker and all that. I've seen them in stores, and you just see a bunch of just the Blu-ray packs with no slip covers. You know, I was just surprised. $20, got that. Been watching them. Wow. I mean, I'm really early in the series, but I've just
that's a good series, dude. That's a good series.
So far, it's great. My wife is watching Batman the Animated Series, so I'll jump over and watch some of that with her sometimes. But I've already went through that once, and Superman was the next big thing. But yeah, so far, number one, let me just say, just like with the Batman Animated Series, they have really cleaned up and remastered these Superman cartoons, which they're on Max. If you've got Max, you can watch the remastered versions. They look phenomenal. And then just talking about the story is really well written. It's a great show. Anyway, I got past the Lobo episode. There was a 2-parter where Lobo was featured, and I was like, yeah, this is a crazy character. I wasn't that big of a fan, but I like the voice actor. It was John DiMaggio, plays Bender and all that. Yeah. And so he did Lobo's voice, and I'm just laughing because that's all I can hear is Bender the whole time. But I see that DC is coming out with a Lobo Space Hog figure, I guess. So
that is an awesome figure.
See, I think about this, and I just like it. And if they're actually doing the movie stuff, I just keep thinking about like the David S. Pumpkin skit from Saturday Night Live, where
I'm Lobo, man.
Well, it's also like, you have the people asking like, why are you going all in on Lobo? Why?
And why did
because
he
it's
just
me, Lobo?
Man,
look at me. I've got a motorcycle in space. Ooh.
And look, he just stole Steve Vai's latest guitar design.
Yes, he did. Oh, that's good. That's a good looking thing, though.
No, it is a cool. I mean, I'm sure if you're a fan of Lobo, this looks like a really good release. But DC, I'll tell you, man, DC Multiverse, they've been knocking it out of the park. I'll go ahead and say it here, because she doesn't listen. But my mother, I've already gotten a part of her Christmas this year, and I found it's a deluxe not DC Multiverse, but the McFarlane Avatar deluxe set, and it's going to be one of those Banshees, and it comes with a Jake figure, one of the Avatar figures.
Jake Sully.
Yeah, Jake Sully, and it's like huge. I mean, it's a huge thing, so I can't wait till she sees this, because that's all I've heard is she wants one of those Banshees so bad. So this is going to be the Banshee to end Banshees, so she better shut up. But anyway, so yeah, I'm just like they've been knocking it out of me. I've got the Batman figure, I've got the Flash. They've just McFarlane seems to be getting better and better at these releases.
Yeah, or at least better at putting a bunch of them out.
Well, I'm just saying, like the sculpt and the paint applications, just they're looking better and better. I'm really impressed with a lot of these, man.
Well, I hope the flub like with one of the figures I'd ordered doesn't happen too often.
What happened?
Oh yeah.
That flat, I had ordered Past Berry with the Batman suit from the Flash movie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think I might have shown it to you. Like his paint application was so bad, like badly placed. Like his eyes were like down here. So like his whole face, the application point was
like they stamped it wrong.
Yeah.
Pretty much. That's what it looked like.
I got my money back. I sent it back and I got it refunded. But yeah, that one was one of those mistakes. Like I can deal with a lot of little flaws, but that one was so glaring. Like it's like, nah, I'm not gonna deal with that. So
yeah, that's a cool thing.
No, this right here. So it looks like they finally announced one of the big Phantasm figures. So that's going to be really cool.
Now, didn't Phantasm get introduced into the comics officially a few years back?
Maybe so. I hadn't been keeping up with DC that much, the comics that much lately.
Me neither. That's part of like with the MCU is that it's got the soap opera thing going where the story's got to keep going. It's got to keep going.
I like the display because the similar stand came with the Batman figure, didn't it?
Yep.
Okay. I was going to say I really like that. These Mondo figures are. Golly,
wait, so this is Mondo?
Yeah, they're expensive. But they're
okay.
Cool.
I see the price now.
Woo. Yeah, they're 12.
Figures. Yeah, they're
I see
big
the size.
figures. So, but no, this is really impressive. I like that. They've been, man. No, I really dig that. Now, a big thing I know because they had, I think Hasbro had a stream or something like that where they were showing off some of their new stuff. So
had a couple, yeah.
I was going to say
one big thing they've done, and I'm cautiously thinking about it, but I haven't done anything. But they've done a 2.0 for their selfie series. You remember the selfie series, right?
Oh yeah.
So they've done like a big overhaul 2.0 version now to celebrate, I guess, the 1 year anniversary, and they've done some stuff like that I was wanting them to do, like for facial hair applications. They actually have, it's a sculpt now. Like you can actually like get a beard sculpted in instead of just printed on the face. So I'm cautiously been thinking about it. Yeah, Starkiller.
I was going to say this one I've got pre-ordered, thankfully. So looks like it's sold out on the Hasbro Pulse site. But I mean, finally, and this looks like a decent head sculpt. It looks like the regular version's not going to come with his screaming face. I'm okay with that. I don't think I have to have it. I don't need it. That face sculpt though, it looks good. I'm impressed with that.
Is it just one lightsaber color?
I think so. From what I'm seeing, is it's just the red.
Yeah, just his starting look. Okay, yeah. So yeah, I'm glad that they're finally doing just a figure version though, because that big 3-figure pack with the 2 stormtroopers is a little too much for me to.
Yeah, well, and the vintage I actually had it in my hand. I saw the vintage collection Starkiller, and he looks terrible. His face sculpt is terrible.
Really?
Yeah.
So yeah, I couldn't stand it. I was thinking about buying it just to have like a version of him, but it just looks so bad, and I'm like, I don't buy these vintage collections anyway. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, this is so. I love this look though.
I totally had to jump on that.
Yeah.
This is really cool. Finally getting a Paz Vizsla.
So is this like a
single release?
So what's different? Is there something about this, or is this just a re-release of him?
I feel like it's a re-sculpt because I feel like this is because did they ever do like a single release like this in the black box like this? Paz Vizsla, if they did, I feel like I don't remember him being this detailed, like with all the battle damage.
Because they just called him the heavy infantry. He didn't have the name yet.
Yeah, I don't think he had a name, but I think it's pretty much the same figure.
It looks about the same.
Yeah.
It could be. It could be
just like a re-release with a new name to kind of look slightly newer.
Huh. I don't know.
Because all of it looks a lot of it looks the same.
It probably is basically just the same sculpt and everything, and they just finally put a name on him. This is what I was super impressed with, and I wish I could get a hold of this. Is the Clone Wars 2-pack or the Black Series?
I didn't even know about this until I think I saw this yesterday, and that was the first time I had heard about it, and it was already sold out.
Ah, look at that! You get
sold out on Amazon.
Armor.
I have no clue.
It's a good question. I don't even know if you can get it on Amazon.
I was going to say this looks like one of those packs that might be exclusive. Maybe.
Let's see.
I was trying to see if it says it. Doesn't say on the site, but let's see if we can find that.
Well, I'm not seeing it on Amazon, so
yeah. I was going to say the only thing I've seen is the on card back, the Mace Windu with the robe and the armor, the Clone Wars card back. Mm-hmm. I've seen that one, but yeah, I'm not seeing the 2-pack at all on Amazon.
Well,
but yeah, no, this is really cool. I mean, I even like you get the purple bladed lights or Jedi, and you get the purple clone trooper. So that's really neat.
That is cool.
My Mr. Grape flavored clone.
Great.
Yummy. But I'll tell you, I know y'all are going to giggle.
What?
But I'm actually super excited for this announcement that we've got finally some more episode 1 Black Series.
Oh yeah. I'm not going to giggle. I think it's cool.
I am curious as to why they gave her such a furrowed brow, though. She looks like she is really angry.
Because this is business. This is Padme taking back my planet.
Yeah, she's going to war.
But I'm even more excited because I want a little Annie.
She's ready to discuss a new treaty.
No, I'm actually excited to get an Anakin.
And I don't think I don't think I'm gonna be getting it, but it is a good looking. The character does look good, or the figure sculpt is very. It makes me think of like because I had the oh god, what was the name of the Kenner line when episode 1 came out? Just episode 1 Kenner Star Wars.
Yeah, so you just had the episode 1 line.
So I remember having like this figure, or not this version of it, but I had that was like one of the first ones from episode 1 that I bought was Anakin's, and he had like the backpack, and I think he had like a little, I think they call it like a grease gun or something like that.
Something like that.
I remember the backpack, but that's it.
Yeah. The only, I only have one child size figure for Star Wars, and that is what's her name? Omega. And she's literally only for completionist sake for the group, because after watching the Bad Batch, it's hard to not see the group without her, because she's part of them, like at least in my in how I see it.
So what do y'all think about those Christmas flavored?
I just don't care. I don't really ever care about the Christmas, but I feel like it's such a waste.
Well, I think it fits a niche. It's a niche type of fan that likes to, like you, Austin, like with Halloween stuff, like you really like to decorate. So I'm gonna say I would say it's people that I'll say are huge Star Wars fans to the point that when they decorate it during the holidays, they want to be able to incorporate something themed from that IP that they love so much. So I can
definitely tell that. No, I could get that. I'm just not even into like even Halloween themed stuff where they change like those turtles when they did the Universal Monster Turtles. Just don't have any interest. Yeah, but it's cool. I get it.
Yeah.
But no, I was going to say Hasbro did announce this. This was their big thing they had been teasing for the Ghostbusters, and I kind of knew this was probably coming up. I didn't know we were going to get a double, but man, we're going to get the PKE meter and the Ghost Trap, which is awesome. Don't know if y'all care, but I'm happy.
Are you backing it?
Oh, look at that.
Are you going to back it, Austin?
I ain't. I mean, look, they don't need me, but I would love to get. I don't even have a proton pack.
But the problem is, I don't know if I don't know if you'd ever be able to get one if you don't.
I know. I've always dreamed that I'm one day going to be rich and I could just go and get
one of these
just after the market or something like that.
God, there was a small part of me, and I'm not someone who even normally drops that much money or even collects vintage collection characters. But there was a small part of me that sometimes during that whole Ghost waiting period, to the end, there were a couple times where I was like, man, it wouldn't be so bad to get that, would it? Just a couple times I tell myself, it's $400, or was it $400 or $300? Ashley, do you remember?
I think it was $4.99. Was it $3.99 or $4.99?
Somewhere it's like $4. Yeah, but it was in that
crazy.
Area. Yeah. Now there were a couple times where, ridiculous as that price is, I was like, it's just money.
Yeah. I'll make more of it.
Maybe. I'll pay those credit card bills eventually.
Well, honestly, I mean, I backed Giant Man the other day and it closed, so I was happy to get
They closed it. I didn't. I thought they'd ran out. Oh, so
it made
it made it. Okay.
Yep.
Because
it didn't make it to the final tier, but it made the first tier. So
okay. I thought I thought that one because it looked like I remember seeing something where it was like a day left and like they still had a couple hundred.
Oh, they had a couple thousand.
Oh, it's a couple thousand.
Yeah. So and that last day they went from like 8,000 to 13, almost 14,000.
That's a big surge of people.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they were going to include that last tier, but some people had started at the, after it completed, started canceling orders.
Oh.
Yeah, on it. But I don't know. I'm not canceling mine. I want that big old monster on my shelf. So.
Well, Austin.
Yeah.
Man.
Maybe I'll change my mind and throw some money in, but I really, because I mean, it's awesome. I love this. And I've played around with the Mattel version of the PK meter. It looks exactly the same when they had their high end one, because I remember it having all the light effects exactly like this. And yeah, it's definitely going to be cool. I wouldn't mind having this, especially just to have, I would like to have one so I could pull it out so Ray could just like slap it out of my hand. Like, stop that. But I like it has this feature too from the new Ghostbusters movie where you can turn it into like, it was almost like, it looked like a stun gun mode or something. I don't know what it was, but yeah, no, it's pretty neat. But that's all the news I know of. I guess we can go into hauls because I know we're pretty much like at the end of the episode.
Yeah.
Anybody got anything? Because
I got plenty because we kind of had some trouble, being able to get together again. So I kind of collected some stuff in the meantime in the interim period.
Show us what you got, Ray. What you got?
Did I show this yet? I don't think we've met since I got this, but have y'all seen this yet?
Oh wow, no, I don't think you showed it off yet.
So this was an anniversary present from my wife.
Oh, that's wonderful.
So another set that I cannot build yet because I need to make some shelf space, or I need to build a shelf. Like I need to just build a shelf. I'll go on with this stuff. So check this out. We got a special edition of Transformers: Rise of the Beast. This is a 4K Steelbook edition.
That is cool.
Sweet.
I love this artwork. Yeah, it's gorgeous.
Have you seen the movie?
Oh yeah, we saw this in the world's biggest IMAX in Pooler.
Oh, okay.
Oh, and that was an experience seeing that because this was the first movie I'd seen on that. And this we got another big collection. So this is the Halloween trilogy of the David Gordon Green movies: Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends.
Why didn't they put the first Halloween movie in there?
I mean, because it's just this trilogy.
Yeah, but you think to get the whole story.
Yeah, but it works as it is. Like
it does.
But like great
evil
artwork.
dies tonight.
But here, let me show you just real quick because I loved how they set this all up. But
is the whole box, is it cardboard or is it steelbook or is it tin?
It's
gotcha.
Tin. Wow.
It looks beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like each movie, like it's even got like cushioning between each movie.
Oh wow.
I see that.
So like here's the cover for 2018. And I love this. And this is my favorite, is the back because it shows his state in each movie. So this is him in the 2018 one. Here, and I'll show you. Like here he is in Kills, like with the fire behind him and the
burning
face
house.
And then the rotted look from Ends.
Yep.
And then like I think
he's in the sewer.
And then they make like a little.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
Scratch it. Yeah,
no, that's cool. I like that. See, that's really neat.
I adore this that we got this because I've been like I remember after I saw the news that Halloween 2018 had been successful enough where they were going to start pushing them to do more of it. When I heard that it was going to be a trilogy, I decided to hold off on getting the 2018 movie in any kind of physical form. And I was thinking like, okay, so when his story's done, when David Gordon Green and Danny McBride finish the story they want to do, I'll get a trilogy collection. And after Ends came out, I was like, well, I haven't heard any announcement yet. And finally, it took a year for this. This just came out this past October. This edition, this like trilogy
Mm-hmm.
set. So it was worth the wait. And I also got some figures over here real quick. Ollie's, I got some good deals. I got Black Panther.
Yep, that is cool.
And this, it's a great figure. I mean, I thought I'd gotten one that didn't have any blemishes, but so the blemish that this one actually has is I see there's Chadwick's head because it's got a switchable head, but there's a little, like you might be able to see it. There's a little place looks like there's on the side of his head. Looks like there's some
scratching or scuffing or something.
Scuff right by his eyebrow. You see that little black?
Yeah, I can't see it. No.
Well, anyways, yeah, it's like a little scuff right by it. It almost looks like a scar if you wanted to look at it like that. But got T'Challa. I've been wanting to get a T'Challa figure, and that one was a fantastic looking one, so I went with that. It was like $10 at Ollie's.
Yep, $9.99.
Yeah, I was going to say I was able to pick up the other Multiverse of Madness figures, Mordo and
Wongers.
Wongers. Yeah, I was going to say I'm so glad I got those to go with my other figures.
Got Bucky.
Yes,
from
Bucky.
Soldier.
Woo!
And Star Wars. I don't know, because I don't think we've gotten to show these yet since they came out. So Ezra.
Yes.
Ezra Bridger.
It's about time.
Days.
Aren't you happy? Like, I was so happy they finally put out this version of Ezra. So I've got him set up right next to my old Ezra back. They're basically back to back with their lightsabers ignited. It's really cool.
It goes with a DL. What is that? A DL 44 or something? Is that what it's called?
Well, the pistol.
Yeah.
So is it supposed to? Yeah, I guess it is supposed to look like that, isn't it? I never realized.
Oh, you're talking about the off-center scope. Yeah. Hans is always like that. It's not on the. Yeah, it's not on the very top.
It feels like that it's going to be in a little bit of danger having to be outside the holster like that. If he gets a bad little hit, that thing's gone. But so I got Ezra, and the more I've looked at this figure, the more I adore it.
Yep.
So I got Sabine from Ahsoka.
Really I've actually got mine. I've got this is one of the only figures I've got where she's got her lightsaber, extinguished and hanging on her belt, and I've got her with her pistols out instead.
Yeah, and I like how simple it is for like her lightsaber where she can put it.
I was able to hang it just fine. Yeah, it was easy to hang it.
I love that. But yeah,
and these helmets, I'm so glad these helmets are so easy to go on and off now.
Yeah. Great sculpt. I'm surprised.
They even put her birthmark.
I was surprised they got that detail in there, because at first I was looking at it and I was like, "Oh man, is that a scuff?" And then I realized, like, no, she has like a freckle over there, like a little birthmark.
Yep.
And then it's like, oh yeah, they just did a really good job with the details.
I did the same thing. I thought it was a scuff on her face. I was like, wait, oh no, wait, that's her birthmark.
Yeah. So yeah, got Sabine from Ahsoka, and that is, I believe that's everything. Yeah, that's me. That's
What about you?
You go first, Austin. You go first, Austin, because I might have to go look for something right quick.
Oh, that's fine. It's going to be a minute. So first off, I mean, like I said, I got some of those Black Series figures that came in, but one thing I was another thing I grabbed, or somebody was able to grab for me, was I got finally an Emperor Palpatine Black Series to go with my Vader and Luke and all that stuff. So he's obviously looks.
Is this
really good.
like Archive Collection Palpatine?
Yeah, this is the Archive Collection Palpatine. So he just does, I think he doesn't have the throne. Mm-hmm. I feel like there was another piece, maybe the lightning. He just doesn't come with the fake lightning. Yeah. The Force lightning, but the head does have the the hair and all that stuff, like from the episode 3 and all that. So it's pretty much that. I mean, it's a really good figure. I just have to manipulate the cloth goods, a little bit, and I can get it to look pretty dang good on him. So yeah, I got that. One thing that blew my mind was we were out of town, and I was at this random Walmart, and I run into the clearance section just to see, and I'm like, I always check it out to see if people put stuff in there, and I was finally able to get My
Wicket.
dream baby.
Oh,
I got Wicket, and he was on clearance for $15. So I snatched him up.
Warwick
so
Davis
fast.
is watching, and he's like, "Please don't kiss it again."
Yeah,
please don't. That makes me uncomfortable.
Hey Warwick, give me a call. But no, I've been wanting him so bad, but I just could never pull the trigger on $25 for this little thing because he comes with, his staff that I got him holding, but he comes with just this little bit of weapons, and it's, he's got like a little arrow, his bow, and then tool. But all together, this right here is a $15 figure, so I feel like I paid what he was worth. Mm-hmm. So I was really happy. I got my little Wicket, and I was also at Target recently and found a Judge Doom to go with my Roger Rabbit.
Oh, cool.
So now he can do a tap, tap, tap on the wall, shave and a haircut. They can't resist it. But yeah, he comes with the little boot that he stuck in the dip.
That's cool.
And but yeah, so I found this at Target. Wouldn't ring up. Woman ended up selling this to me for $5.99.
Oh, sweet.
Yes, I was like, I'm not going to argue with you.
There you go, Super 7.
I'm just saying, man, that right here is how much that should be. It's a $5.99 figure.
Yep, it should be.
And so yeah, suck it. So I got that, and I was super happy about that. And then while I was at Target, 2 different times, while I've been there, slowly I've been able to finally find these DC Direct Batman the Animated Series figures. So I've got the Batman with his awesome cape. I really like that they did cloth goods with the two-tone, the black and blue. Even the shading's not bothering me as much as I thought it would. How they have this weird shading for the animated style, but really cool. I've got him holding both his grapple and his batarang just to kind of show it off. And look, Ma, his belt's correct. So very happy about that. And then went back at a different time and was able to find Mr. Freeze. So I was super happy. This was like the main one I wanted. I was wanting a Mr. Freeze figure so bad.
That's cool looking.
Yeah, no, he's really good. He's a pretty bulky figure. He comes with his blaster gun and a bunch of different hands that you can use. I probably could find a better hand to hold this gun. If you look, he's a little kind of weird how he's having to hold it. He's almost like gangster style. Like I should just do him like Kill Shot, like just turn it sideways, And he's just like, Glock MFer.
So are you going to try to get the other figures just to build Condiment King?
I'm not a Condiment King fan, but I do want the Scarecrow and the Robin figure. I kind of want to just to complete the set. So I probably will end up trying to find all of them, but the price point is pretty high on these. They're $30 because they're DC Direct and not Multiverse. But it's really cool too because it's real easy to just pop his helmet off so you can adjust his head, move it however you want.
No, that's cool.
And then just pops back on. It's really, really simple, just friction. So I thought this was a really good figure. I just wish these weren't $30 a pop. So it makes it hard to really want to spend the money on them when you find them.
Yeah. But
people have been going crazy. Oh, I also forgot I finally got a Clone Trooper Black Series. I've got Commander Cody from Ollie's. So now I've got Cody, to go with my Obi-Wan. So I was really happy about that because he was kind of one of my favorites just because it was Obi-Wan's.
Is this a Cody with a removable helmet?
No, it's just Archive Series with no removable helmet. Yeah, unfortunately. I wish he did. And I feel like that may be it, but I actually think I have maybe one other thing to show you, just making sure I'm not leaving anything out. I know we're running out of time, but you know what? I actually went on a special trip and, didn't really do much, didn't get much on my trip, but my one consolation prize to myself, kind of had to do it. Been wanting it, been craving it. I know you guys have heard me say it a few times.
Can I guess?
And so I finally...
I knew it.
Got me a new Legacy Blade.
Count Dooku.
And this was the Count Dooku, Jedi Master Count Dooku version. Okay. They apparently have discontinued the Count Dooku Blade. So, and I didn't know that, but they have these. These are brand new. they've got these Jedi Master Dooku blades from the the Tales of the Jedi series, and it's very a very similar design, very hefty blade. This thing is heavy. I mean, you can knock somebody out with this thing.
Oh, I'm sure.
And yeah, beautiful curved design. It's got the hook tooth kind of looking thing on the end. Just a wonderful, wonderful blade. I actually got it on sale. They still, after the fact, it was like a few days after, they were still holding a lightsaber sale. So I got this bad boy for a pretty decent price.
Really?
But, oh yeah, I mean, pretty dang good. But thought I'd go ahead and demonstrate it. Let's take a look. And
you got the blue.
And it's my favorite color, so I've got the blue blade. So I'm super excited about that.
Oh, that looks cool in the video too, man.
So I can
when you move it, it kind of looks like a lightsaber.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that is cool. That is cool.
No, but yeah, this was my dream, and then I was able to finally get the blade of a master, of a gentleman, of a swordsman. I can conquer anyone with this.
Let me pull out my Vader.
But yeah, that was this was my pride and joy that I've been sitting on for a while, and I've been wanting to share it with you guys, and I've just been but I'm telling you, man, this thing, the design on it, I already had the blade. I didn't buy a new blade yet. I need to get more blades, but yeah, this thing, number one, the box that they sold it to me in, I mean, like that comes with it, is way bigger. It could swallow the Luke Skywalker box. Yeah, I mean, the display box was huge, and then when you pick this thing up, I mean, it is hefty. Like the comparison with the Luke Skywalker hilt is so much different. This thing's got some weight, but it's great. And, you knock somebody with that, and then you've got, obviously the little trigger mechanism and the grip. The grip is really good. Feels great in the hand. I actually like this design a little better than the original Dooku design. I don't know. This right here, I think, was just destined to be mine. I'm so happy with it. It's everything I wanted. So yeah, cool. This was my that was my haul, guys. So come on, Ashley.
So Doc Ondar sold it to you, huh?
Doc Ondar you know what? He cut me a good deal. He told me he owed me one, and he was good on his word. And while I was there, you know what? I finally got to fly the Millennium Falcon. And it was the experience. And you know what? I'll even tell you guys. Let me give you a little rundown really quick before I go. I rode the Star Wars rides.
Yep.
Really quickly, I'll say Rise of the Resistance, disappointed. Really? Not as good as I thought it was going to be. It was fun, not as fun as the Flight of the Falcon. If you can get a chance to fly the Falcon, it is 10 times. It is such a different experience than sitting right behind the pilots and riding the ride. Yeah. That was fun. When me and my wife finally got to sit down at the pilot station and fly it, dude, it was so much fun. Yeah. So much. You just wanted to stay in there. It was everything I hoped it would be. I'm flipping switches and pulling the levers, and she's getting to do it. And she was my Chewie, I was Han. I mean, it was great. It was so fun. But anyways, y'all got to experience it. Ashley, what did you get? What kind of hauls are we talking about here?
All right. That's it.
I went to McDonald's, got a supersized.
No, I did get this. So check your McDonald's, because the Happy Meals do come with these Disney 100 figures.
I say my wife is going to be probably sending me up there every day and getting one probably every day.
No, my haul is not that big because I didn't. I can't find I can't put my hands on everything that I've gotten over the past few weeks. I did pick this up at Ollie's for $9.99.
Oh wow!
Witch. Yep. So that is cool.
My wife would probably love to have that.
Just picked up today. That's kind of hard to see.
Oh, is that Mr. Knight?
Yeah, Mr. Knight, and he comes with the little aquarium. It's kind of cool, It goes with him. So yay for that. And I won this comic off of a Whatnot stream the other day. So it's like the Amazing Spider-Man number 34, but a $30 comic. You know, hey, you can't.
Oh, that's good.
Can't complain that I won it. So yay for me, and yay to comic traders on Whatnot, because that's where I won it from, and give them a shout out because they have tons of giveaways all the time. So all you have to do is you join the Whatnot, join their stream, and enter their free giveaways. You know, and buy some of their product too. So, but that's it for my haul. I did get a couple of mini busts, but I don't want to get them off the shelf.
Well, guys, I guess we'll call it for this week because I know we're way over time. So I guess until next time, let's say goodbye.
Oh, wait. Does that mean I have to play some music?
You have to play some music, Ashley. You got to play us out, or we're just going to be here forever. We can be here forever, and you can just never play us out.
Hold on. I forgot all about playing
Guess what?
music.
I'm going to put you on blast right now. This is Ashley's time right now. He's got to play us out.
There you go. Okay. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Wave, bye. I'll be right back.